Hello, my name is Braden, and this is the Motorboard channel, which is where I plan to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and, well, more specifically, this video is a part of my new series that I've been working on, very slowly, my apologies, but it's about my homebrew D&D classes that I have made for my players, and they seem to like them a lot, and I love making them, so I decided I wanted to share them online, not only so other people can play them, but I needed other people to help me test and make these classes even better than they already are, and having criticism online is, well, a great way to do that. So I am very open to you guys commenting on how to make these classes better, and I think I reply to basically as many comments as I can, so I'll keep that up in this video as well. This is, of course, the second video in my series about custom D&D classes. Today's episode, as you can tell from the title, is about my Maniac class. This one is a little less self-explanatory as the summoner classes, but you might be able to guess what it's about. The Maniac class is a class about sharing your crazed desire from your character, their evil profession, if you will. This is like their deepest, darkest desires brought to light as a way to express themselves through fighting and roleplay. The best way to explain it, I think, is just to paint you a picture on who a maniac is. This is partially taken from example from a character in a previous campaign that I DM'd for. Let's say you grew up in the slums, no food, and you basically lived your life as an outcast, a social outcast, if you will. And you're not the only one, of course. You're in a city, a popular city. There's other people there, but even the outcasts won't get near you because you don't mind being an outcast. In fact, it makes your life a lot easier. You see, as far back as you can remember, you've had an unsatiable urge to eat. And I'm not talking just a hunger for food, not just pure gluttony. I am talking for a hunger for one's own, well, I guess the flesh of one's own kind, a cannibalistic urge. You are a cannibal. You love eating the flesh of others who are like you, more so than you could ever any animal, or God forbid you eat a vegetable. But this cannibalistic hunger is so strong for you that it just makes you into just a gluttonous person who goes out of their way to eat and eat more and more of this just same flesh that starts to drive you crazy. Or maybe you're a serial killer. You're someone who has such a love for killing that it is just more than a hobby to you. It is your life. It is your profession. These are some examples of what a maniac is. People who are maniacs are, I mean, they're just that. They are maniacs. They're not evil. I don't want to say this class is just evil characters, but they're characters who are obsessed with something, a very certain thing that they're obsessed with. And this thing they're obsessed with is something that usually puts them on a more psychotic end of things. Or maybe this thing they're obsessed with is seen in a not so good light. Not every character for this are going to be evil, obviously. But obviously, a lot of them are going to be on the more evil or chaotic side of things. With that being said, though, I really think it'd be interesting to try making a character who's good or lawful for this. Because I think trying to explain a cannibalistic urge in a lawful or good light is hard. I think it would be a little challenging, and I think that'd be fun to watch. As someone who's been basically a DM my whole life, um, I think that'd be such a fun just character arc. But a little sidetrack there, my apologies. I don't, just to add on to that, this class I feel like personally opens up so many just character and story ideas from the get-go. And that is something I quite love about some D&D classes. First one that comes to mind is obviously a warlock. The class itself has built-in story ideas, and that is something I love. And that is something that I kind of incorporated with the Maniac class as why are you the way you are is such an important thing that you can explore further and further. And I think that just kind of starts off with a good basic idea for a character that any player could just build off of. Um, to dive more into what their evil profession is, that is the subclass for this class. It is the thing, their dark desire that is just manifested into their obsessed and psychotic way to fight and live life. Obviously, characters, like I said, are on the more psychotic side of things, and they are not may not all start this way. Something may have happened that made them more maniacal or psychotic or crazy, and that is something every player can choose to expand on themselves. I want to review its class features now. And as I said, I am 100% open to constructive criticism, and I do really want to hear everyone's thoughts, questions, and even suggestions for the class in hopes of bettering it, including like subclass ideas and just modifications for abilities or even new abilities. I would love to hear it all. Though a quick disclaimer before we continue into the video. I do tend to make things very combat oriented, as I do really love that side of D&D, which may leave some classes without good out of combat abilities. If that is the case, I would love to hear ideas to help fix that balance, as that is something I am a little bit struggling with as a creator, I guess. So, onto the class abilities for a Maniac. So, to start off the Maniac class, the first thing is the Maniac class, like I said, are those who have truly turned their back to society and relinquished their sociopathic tendencies and embrace the power with that. Um, to multi-class in and out, you need a dexterity and charisma score of 13 or higher to do that. And here are a quick list of the abilities for each level, and the bloodlust die, which I'll go further into soon. I'll have these on screen just real here for a bit for you to check out. Pause if you'd like to. I'm going to continue on. Onto the base class features. The class's hit point and hit dice are d8s for this class. I think that was a pretty good balance. I didn't want to make it too high, as obviously this isn't supposed to be some tanky class. It is just supposed to be a more melee ranged focused class, and I think a d8 fits that well. Obviously light armor. I feel like these are not the heavy armor types, and I think this class I like the idea of giving it simple and martial weapons as a class about crazy people. I just don't feel like the basic weapons really fit that well. I think a crazy person wielding a funny weapon is amazing. I love that. Thieves' tools I thought was a must-have, and charisma and dexterity just made the most sense to me. There are three skills that to pick from are insight, deception, perception, stealth, persuasion, intimidation, and sleight of hand. All of those I think are pretty well fit. I might add survival. I haven't thought about it. If you think I should, then say so, I guess, down below, but I might add survival. I think it makes a lot of sense. Onto the starting equipment. You start with either hide or leather armor. For your second option, you either start with a dagger or any simple martial weapon of your choice. Simple martial weapon. Huh. Crazy wording. For your third option is a Dungeoneer's pack or Explorer's pack. And finally, you start with a longbow and quiver of 20 arrows to give you at least some range. On to Bloodlust, which was the dice you saw here. Bloodlust is your level 1 ability that lets you enter a bloodlusted state. This lets you go into a psychotic craze. It takes 1d4 of your HP every turn that you're in this state for, but you also gain a 1d4 of extra damage along with +1 to your attack score roll. This also grants you advantage on attack rolls, and finally you gain 10 feet of movement. This feels like a lot, and it might be a lot, so I do want a little. I think it might be overwhelming. If you think it's fair, around just like I said, the comments would be nice for, I guess, criticism for the class. Obviously, as this class gets stronger at the higher levels of multiples of 5, the damage increases up a d4 that you give, and the damage you take increases to a d6 at level 10 and a d8 at level 15. I didn't have the damage increase at levels 5 or 20, but if you think that might be a good way to balance it, then I will. Also, you just get a simple ability, Skilled on Daggers. This just grants you a +1 to your attack roll and a +2 to your damage roll when using a dagger or dagger alternative. And this also bonus gives you a slash effect on those specific weapons of a heavy bleeding effect that deals 1 damage for 4 turns. It's just a little bonus damage, I think would be nice. So, now you're on to level 2. This is honestly might be one of the biggest abilities for the base Maniac. Psycho mentality. When we played, this was the big one that we focused on a lot. At level 2, you start to feel a strong bloodlust around people. For everyone in a 10-foot radius of the player, you gain an extra d4 in damage. That is strong. That is great. That can be used well. But at the same time, you also take 1d4 damage for every target in that radius when you attack, as long as it is over 3 other people in your radius. So you kind of have to balance it as your character cannot stand being around others. It just comes from your just lack of social life, I guess, growing up that brought you to this psycho way. You aren't that in tune with others that well, and being around them starts to affect you negatively. While at the same time, that negative feeling does make you stronger. I think it's a nice balance. If it needs to be balanced out a bit, it will be. Obviously, at levels 11, 15, and 19, damage increases up a die, and the radius increases by 5 feet for each of those levels. Here's the big thing. Here are the 5 subclasses I have currently made: Cannibal, Serial Killer, Stalker, Manipulator, and Possessed. Good 5. I have another one I might be working on. I haven't fully decided to start on it yet, but it is it's about using a chainsaw, so we'll see how I feel about that. Of course, once you reach the 4th level, and once again, abilities for improvement, pretty generic class stuff. And then level 5, you get extra attack. I thought as a martial class, this makes sense to have at least an extra attack. Level 7, wow, that's crazy. Level 7, my bad. You get blooded senses. This ability allows you to taste the blood of an enemy. As you deal the heavy bleeding attack, you'll cause them to bleed. And tasting their blood of an enemy gives you complete advantage over them, as well as knowing where they are in a mile radius. This ability can be used once per rest. I think I should probably add for how long this ability lasts for. That is on me. I guess I just mistakenly forgot to do that. My apologies. Let me do that real quick. All right, there you go. For blooded senses, I made it last 1 minute in combat, which is 10 turns if you didn't know, or 10 minutes out of combat, as I feel like the 1 mile radius for 1 minute really didn't help that much. And like I said, once per rest can be used. Level 10, you get Crazed Counter. You can use your body to, instead of dodging or countering an attack, you take the force of a melee attack, which means you take the full damage for it. At the same time, their weapon is now stuck inside of you, as you just let it happen, which grants you or an ally to freely attack the person who attacked you with advantage till they succeed in a DC 16 strength saving throw. This can be used once for a short or long rest. I think that's a fun way to incorporate the fact that your character really doesn't care about themselves in the way that they're going to protect themselves over the hunt of others. I think they prioritize fighting and beating someone else over something as simple as just being stabbed, you know? Just being stabbed, it's nothing crazy. At least for this class, it's nothing crazy. Level 14, you get Blood Rush. When you go to 15 HP or lower, every turn you can attack as a reaction. I think that's just a fun way to high stakes, high risk, high reward type gameplay, and just playing style with lower HP to drive your characters more psychotic. And finally, level 18 is Broken Mind. Your character is mind is a place that no one will ever really want to enter, as even they can't control what goes on in there. They are unaffected by psychic-based attacks or interactions if they so choose to. This does acquire them to be awake. A sleeping character like this is weak to these still. Maybe I should probably add that down. I will tonight. But when they're awake and up, they are unaffected by psychic-based attacks, as their mind is beyond something anyone can enter. It is a hellscape. Onto the first subclass. So the starting one is Cannibal. The cannibal is giving into your urges and hunger to finally consume the humanoid flesh of your race, which gives you a newfound power. Level 3 ability is Flavored Flesh. Also, I want to quickly add, this is a more subclass-oriented class, as there's a decent bit of abilities. But the level 3 one is Flavored Flesh. That one, saying so fast, always gets me up. At the 3rd level, you can eat the flesh of a humanoid and heal back 1d12 as your HP as a bonus action. This can be used once per short or long rest. Just a nice healing based off of eating a humanoid flesh. I think that's just a nice little ability. Level 6 is Familiar Snack. At level 6, you can eat the flesh of your own race, and upon consumption of their flesh, you gain 1d10 of healing. Eating this flesh counts as a bonus action, but it requires you to physically have it and to be of the same race as you, as that is way more cannibalistic than just a humanoid flesh. At level 9, you get the ability Advanced Bite. This lets you, as you're already honed and just honed, sorry, is the word I was looking for, honed into biting and eating the meat of living creatures, your bite is naturally stronger. This lets you deal a 1d12 damage bite, and that causes the intense bleeding effect. That's the 1d1 damage for 4 turns. This bite, of course, is in action. At level 13, you get Shocking Blood. You can drink the blood of your enemies, and that causes them to be stunned till a successful Constitution saving throw with a DC of 16 is made. This attack is a bonus action and can be used once per long rest. This lets them unable to, of course, do anything until they pass that DC 16 con save. Pretty nice ability. I just think to use more of the blood and drinking the blood, I feel like having multiple uses for a cannibal-based class made sense. At level 17 is the Devour ability. You are now able to completely eat the dead body of a humanoid way too quickly in a very scary speed. If you succeed on a strength save with a DC of 16, upon succeeding, you heal half of your max HP. Of course, it can be used once per long rest and is used as an action. This can only happen if you're the full dead body of a humanoid. Any humanoid, that doesn't have to be your exact race. And finally, at level 20, is your Great Hunger. You gain an insane hunger and craving for flesh that drives you to be able to use flavored flesh as much as you need to quench your appetite. Which means you can use this infinitely. It doesn't count as a long or short rest. It is now just a bonus action you can continuously do. You're always hungry for flesh, and now you don't need to take breaks. You have fully embraced who you are, and that is the peak of a cannibal. So, on to the next one. The next class on our list is the Serial Killer. The Serial Killer is one who uses their mastered strength and love for murder. It's as brutal as you think it is. They are excellent at killing and they love doing it. This is a class for you, if that fits your description. Which I hope no one watching this fits that description. That is actually concerning. If your character fits that description, here, that sounds a lot better. Let's go with that. um, Level 3's ability is Advanced Slash. So your now slashes that dealt 1 damage per turn are now 3 damage along with the like additional 3 damage to your slashes, and the bleeding is now 1d4 instead of 1 damage for 4 turns. At level 6, you get Stubborn Killer. When you hit 0, you get 1 more action that cannot be used to heal yourself before you're knocked out. This can be used once for long rest. Um, this is just supposed to show the determination and need you have to kill others. You are so stubborn that you won't just go down without a fight. Level 9 was Blade Throw. This was supposed to be a sort of ranged option to give serial killers, murderers, insane people. I sound insane saying this. I'm sure sure people hearing me think I am insane. At level 9, you learn a perfect way to throw your dagger so that it is able to pierce the first target and hit someone behind them. The range is 25 feet in a line, stopping upon impact of the second person, or if it goes 25 feet and there's no one behind them. It does the damage of your just normal attack, and to hit the first target and the second target, you still have to make attack rolls. It isn't just a free to hit. You can do this once per long rest, of course. At level 13, you get Merciless. You are now able to kill any enemy that you personally leave at 5 HP or lower. So let's say they have 10 HP. That's kind of weak. Say they have 20 HP. You do attack, you knock them, you do 15 damage, and you knock them to 5 HP. If that attack leaves them to 5 or lower, you get to just full on just end it there. You can't knock them out though. You do have to kill them. So if you want to knock out an enemy, obviously you have to do it normally. You can't just mercilessly knock them out. That I don't know. That was an interesting balance to think about. And your final 2 is Hidden in Plain Sight at level 17. You gain the ability to be perfectly hidden if you stand still, unless someone succeeds in a perception check, which I'm going to leave up to the DM to decide the DC, as it is based off of where you are, because there's more factors than just standing in an open town's road. Will probably be a lot lower a perception check needed than if you were slightly hidden. But I thought this was just a funny ability, and I think it kind of fits in with the class. And finally is Decapitate. Brutal name to say out loud. At level 20, you gain the ability to decapitate any enemy that is under 25 HP if you succeed in a safe strength saving throw against them with a DC of 16. This is your capstone ability. This is your end all be all. It is like a version of Merciless that you can do that is just even better. If you think the HP for that's too high, please say so. I've been on and off about it, so a little insight on how I can make Decapitate better would be nice. So, on to the next subclass. Okay, the next class is the Stalker. The Stalker is someone who is an expert at hunting down a target and knowing where they are at all times and how to kill them. You are a terrifying hunter. This class is decently similar to that of a range. I feel like its ranger class is kind of similar in style. This is more geared towards obsessively stalking someone relentlessly until they can no longer stop, and then you get to kill them. Awesome sauce. I can't believe I just said that out loud. On to level 3 ability, why don't we get there? Secret target. At level 3, you're able to choose a target to stalk. You have a general idea of where they are within a mile of yourself and gain advantage against them in rolls. Obviously, this can be used on one person, and you can change who your target is either when your current target dies or after a long rest. Um, to stop you from constantly switching to get that good advantage, it is usually based off of a specific person who has harmed you, or you are after them just for whatever reason your character is doing that for. Um, I like to imagine your character doesn't change targets often. Um, Level 6 ability is Stalk Prey. You now gain 5 feet of movement when walking towards your target and gain +1 to your attack roll and +3 to your damage roll. To your specifically your target, by the way. You can pick your target now as a bonus action if you have no current target. Normally you could only do so at a long rest. Um, I like the bonus 5 feet of movement walking towards them. This is supposed to help you catch up to them, as you're always going to be following behind no matter where they go. You are the relentless hunter. And I like that. I think it's a really interesting way to go about it. At level 9, you have Unsettling Stare. You can cause your prey to become heavily uneasy, granting them the frightened condition while you're actively stalking them if they fail a DC 16 Wisdom save. This is a constant. They win or pass it is just up to the first roll. No rerolls, nothing. So the first time you stalk a person is when they have to make this roll. Obviously, it's within sight of you. They don't get this debuff if they're not. But while they're inside of you, they have to roll the DC 16 Wisdom save, and if they're afraid of you or not is up to the roll. Level 13 is Advanced Hunting. At level 13, you gain +15 feet of movement now when walking towards your target, which is a nice upgrade. You're going to be significantly faster catching up to them. Once again, it's only walking directly towards your target. It's not generally, it is like walking like a straight line to them. You can now walk faster. And also to your target is +2 on attack rolls, and now it's +5 to damage against your target, which is just an upgraded version of this. And now you know exactly where your target is within a mile. This is just in the better version of Stalk Prey. Second to last is Exploited Weakness. At level 17, when you roll to attack and you roll a 19 or 20, naturally, they are counted as crits only when striking your target. This can't be used against anyone else, just fighting a target. A nat 19 is now considered a crit. Obviously, this is just because you know them so well, you can easily find out how to really hit them hard. And finally is Hit List. Your capstone ability now lets you have 3 targets at a time you have to manage. Obviously, this is a great upgrade, and if you have any concerns about the upgrade, the capstone ability, please do so, comment it. On to the second to last subclass. The Manipulator is the Maniac second to last subclass for now. The Manipulator is the person who is so good at manipulating the people around them, that is how they know to succeed in life. They're masters of lying and getting what they want. At level 3 Advanced Liar, you have +4 in Persuasion and Deception skills. That is great, and that will help you a lot. This class is probably my least combat-oriented subclass, which isn't surprising for a manipulator. They get what they want, but obviously it's hard to fully control that in combat. But I think it just works well for me. On to level 6 is Damsel in Distress. you are able to convince the people around you to protect you. If an ally is within its movement distance from you, you can roll persuasion, and if you pass a DC of 16, you are able to, in air quotes, force, but really you're just persuading them, right? Like, I mean, they wanted to help you, obviously. And if they didn't want to, it sucks to suck. You could force that ally to take an attack for you. This can be used as a reaction once for short or long rest. Obviously, be smart about this. I think this is a ability that can help create, obviously, not trying to cause any out of table fights. Please be smart when you pick this, like use this ability. Don't do this to upset another player. Obviously, unless you're doing it in character, have character disputes, which could be a little interesting to dive into. Um, or it helps maybe someone who's playing a tank character who wants to tank as a character more. This is perfect for them. They're living their job as the human shield, and you don't take damage. It's a win-win. What else can you ask for? I mean, after all, you are the damsel in distress. At level 9, you get Bark Over Bite. With a DC of 18 deception roll, you can convince others who hear this lie that you say that you're so much stronger than you let on. You're telling them you're this super strong hero, and if you get this a DC 18 deception roll, they fear you, and they avoid you until they pass an intelligence save. The intelligence save is also DC 18. I should probably specify it's the same thing as your deception roll. This can be used as a bonus action once per long rest. They get the frightened debuff, of course, until they pass the int save. To figure out, wait a second, he's just lying. We're stupid. Little upgrade, the perfect lie. You gain another +2 in deception and persuasion, and now you have expertise on these rolls if you didn't already. If you didn't have proficiency on these, you go to expertise still. I just want to say one thing. If you were playing this class without a proficiency in persuasion and deception, you are really nerfing yourself. So please keep that in mind. Those are such important roles of this class. You gotta, plan out your character a little bit. Second to last is the greatest bargain. Um, this is so combat warranted. Wow, I can't speak today. This is not about combat at all, obviously. At level 17, you can always get stuff at 1/4 of the original price others pay, as you are great at bargaining. And the original price and a 1/4 original price, and you can always usually get increase of rewards of quests when given by another individual. Um, so this is just your way of consistently getting farther ahead in life by convincing others that you really deserve it. I mean, you do, right? Obviously. I mean, you're the best, or something like that. As long as people believe that, you are the best. At level 20 is whose side are you really on? You gain the ability to gaslight, gatekeep, and girl boss. Nope, wait, those are other classes. Sorry. You get the ability to gaslight, though. Um, I'm sorry, I'm just imagining a girl boss ability now. Ooh, that's tempting. Oh no, that's really tempting. Future Maniac girl boss class. Sure, my friends would love that one. You get the ability to gaslight a creature who makes an int save and rolls lower than your persuasion roll. Obviously, if they roll their int save is lower than your persuasion, then you are able to convince them that you're on the same side as them. I mean, they're really here to help you, right? I mean, after all, your lie is so convincing, it has to be true. They fight with you until they roll higher than you do. Obviously, the rolls are going to be internally, they're not consistently, they're doubting it a bit. And that's why they're continuously rolling until they pass. This doesn't work for creatures who knew you for extended periods of time and were against you for a while. So creatures who have hated you and actively know you're not with them, this won't work on. I might, if you guys think it's a good idea to change it to at least you have disadvantage or they have advantage on rolls, I might do that. That might make more sense. For now, this is how it is. So if you think that's a good change, comment down below as well. I've given you a whole shopping list of comments. My apologies. And on to the most unique and final subclass for now. The final Maniac subclass, the Possessed. The Possessed is when a maniacal spirit possesses a person, turning them into a spiritual lunatic hell-bent on chaos and revenge. This is the most different of classes, You may have been a normal and amazing person. You might be an outstanding citizen. But on one fateful night, you've been possessed by a terrible person of a spirit, and it is causing you lots of issues. But little did you know, things might start going your way because of this. At level 3, you get Unfortunate Connection. A spirit has entered your body, sharing it with you and having a constant presence in your mind. Also, the DM for your campaign that you're playing this with can help you with how the spirit interacts with you, whether it's a more positive or negative connection. The spirit may see you in a good light, and you may get along, or you may decide that you want your spirit to not get along with you. These are all options for better character development and just how to flesh out a character. I thought this would be fun, and I still do. And I think this is a good way to start making a character. When you go unconscious, like whether that's being knocked out or sleeping, here's where the fun starts. Your spirit has full control of your body until you regain consciousness. You may regain consciousness by them getting knocked out, or by them getting tired or going to sleep, which would cause you to wake up. Um, Obviously, your body is a little rough from that because you're awake way too often. And I think it's just good to talk about how your connection with your spirit is changing between a positive or a negative light. They're going to do different actions while you're knocked out, and they have control. And I think there's just so many options here that really can help you create a unique experience. At level 6, Spiritual Form. The spirit in your body can now partially detach itself, allowing it to roam within 50 feet of you. I like to imagine as like, like a wispy ghost tail that's like stuck in your body as it keeps extending itself out from your body, max of 50 feet. But no matter what, it is still attached. The spirit can go through walls and cannot be attacked by physical attacks. Magic and spiritual still hit it, of course. The spirit shares HP with your body, so if it does get hit, you take damage. The spirit itself has a 1d10 psychic slash it can do to target, and this slash ignores 5 AC when rolling to attack, of course. The spirit uses its your wisdom stat to attack, and the spirit can attack as a bonus action and action if needed or wanted. Obviously, you may decide if your spirit really wants to help you. If it's a more negative connection, it may not always attack, and it may attack the people around you. That is fully up for you to decide, and I think that's a fun way to go about it. Level 9, Spiritual Connection. You are now more connected to the spiritual plane due to your unfortunate living arrangements, I would like to say, with your new friend. Friend's a tough word to use there, but hey, maybe it might be the case. Allowing you to now see undead spirits freely and sense them even while they're hiding. You can tell when people are around you that are ghosts, spirits, the undead. Because, well, you live with one of those, and now you know what it feels like to see them. Your spiritual connection starts to transform your body. You now get resistance to one of the 3 major physical types in the game. You get to choose whether it's slashing, piercing, or bludgeoning, but you get a resistance to one of those as you start having a more spiritual body. And obviously, with that comes a resistance. I feel like pretty fair. At level 13, Surprising Savior. Your possessor is starting to truly help you. You're starting to get along. As you've lived together more and more, you start growing a bond in I almost said parasocial. I don't think that's the right word. Like a more parasitic. Is that right? I think I'm making words up now. Parasitic connection. That sounds wrong. I think I'm saying that wrong. I'm just gonna go with it because I'm right. Something like that. Sorry about that. A little sidetrack. This allows you a special reaction ability, as you guys are now working together a bit. Just a bit. The first ability is that when any enemy stops within 5 feet of you on its turn, you can now, as a reaction, have the spirit attack the creature. Only if they're within 5 feet of you and you haven't done any opportunity attacks, of course, because reaction, duh. Also, if a creature attacks you on your turn, the spirit can block the attack, making it so you don't take the damage from non-magical sources. These abilities are reactions and can only be done once every other turn. On all turns, you can no longer be surprised as your spirit notifies you of incoming danger. So you cannot be surprise attacked. With that being said, for these abilities, you can only do one of these as a reaction every other turn. So you can do the block every other turn, but with that being said, you will never be able to do the attacking one. So you just have to choose which one of these want to be used. Your second last ability is Boosted Spirit. At the 17th level, your spirit and you have bonded together, making the spirit gain power through your soul. The spirit's damage is now 2d12 instead of 1d10. The damage it deals is slashing damage. Or ooh, should I do slashing or force? I haven't actually thought about that somehow. I should probably add that. And it can now ignore up to 7 AC and go up to 100 feet away from you. You can now also have your spirit go invisible, magically invisible. Body of the Dead is your capstone ability. Level 20, your body is fully adapted to your new life. You can now enter a state where you and your spirit both have 100% control. You are together in this forever. And with that, you've unlocked a sort of conjoined state. What this does is it's bringing your body to a whole new level. You can't even imagine how much stronger this gets you. You can now enter the state for 1 minute or 10 turns of combat if not interrupted. During this state, you have 2 turns that you can use for every turn. Your body is now resistant to all 3 non-magic damage, and your speed is doubled along with the ability to scale walls hands-free. Um, I think that's just a fun little bonus to add on, as you've seen many horror movies about just ghosts walking on walls and crawling on walls. Just a fun thing to go as you're just fully possessed to a new level. And that is Possessed. Those are the 5 Maniac subclasses I have, along with the Maniac abilities. I think it is one of my more favorite and unique and fun classes, and the idea to play as someone with a chaotic nature to it is just very exciting to me. I think it's very different and can open so many new ideas. Obviously, if you liked this class, thank you so much for getting to the end of the video and watching it all. Subscribing is greatly appreciated as I'm still a very new channel and I will be trying to upload more often than every 7 months. That was a school issue, not surprising. If you've ever been to college, you would understand. And just some life things came up and my motivation dropped, but um life's been getting a lot easier and I've had a lot more free time and my passion for this has greatly risen and I'm really excited to start making videos more consistently. So if you want to see that, like I said, subscribing to check up on the series is amazing, and liking is awesome, and commenting down below your criticisms or ideas for the class or just things you liked about it is amazing. I love reading every comment. It is so fun and exciting to see people who have an interest in this. And honestly, I am so open to ideas, it's not even funny. I like outside suggestions as I want to make these classes as fun as possible for not just me and my friends to play, but I want everyone to be free to play this. With that being said, everyone watching this, you have permission to play my classes in your campaigns if your DM allows you. Please don't try to force that. I would understand as a DM not wanting to. But you have full permission to play this in your classes. You don't even have to message me about it. Try not to, of course, steal them from yourself. That's kind of unfun, kind of stinky, if you will. That was terrible. I'm so sorry. Like I said, in the description, I will have a link to my D&D homebrew page where you can see all of my classes, and links to the main D&D classes. I also have right here some slight changes I made to some D&D classes. Um, you don't have to use these. I just, me and my friends kind of thought this would be something we wanted to do because some things in D&D kind of take this off about the main classes. Thank you guys for watching, and if you want to see more of this content, check in to see when the next one drops, and I'll see you all later, and have a good day.